Welcome to the Activity Call Live. Now let's hear it for our special guest host, Terry Edwards.
Woo! Let's go, Alliance Nation. What is up? It is Friday. It is time for our activity call. And I am so grateful that you have taken time out of your busy, chaotic schedule just to rock with us over the next 60 minutes or so. We hope, and it is our earnest prayer, that we add value to you on today. Listen, we promised y'all on Wednesday that we was coming for wigs and we were snatching lashes and clutching pearls and changing lives, man. And let me tell you, if you missed the TWC on this past Wednesday, I highly recommend you make it a point to go back and watch the replay, guys. My phone has been blowing up. My man, Eric Evans, down up under Elizabeth, Oregon, said that the Wednesday call changed my life literally. And he can't wait for the full recipe, baby. So we are super excited. Like I said, man, the chats have been blowing up. People are leaning in, and we are so excited. Thankful and always grateful for the opportunity to share with you guys on today. Andy and Jane Albright, I never take it for granted when you give me the keys to the organization and allowing me, just this young country bumpkin from Northeastern North Carolina, to speak into the Alliance Nation. All of the leadership in the Alliance, Jason and Olga, Andy and Angela Riddle, thank you so much. And also, I am so grateful for the Dream Team, the team that I have been called to lead. And it's just a blessing. So even on today, I stand in reverence to the people that came before me, but I'm more humble to serve those who are coming behind me. That's right, to serve those that's coming behind us. We'll talk about serving a little more. Listen, y'all, National Boot Camp. Listen, big decisions are made at big events. It is time now to go ahead and put National Boot Camp on your calendar right now. Go ahead. You may not have it all figured out. You may not have your ticket yet. You ain't got your hotel yet. But guess what? You got your faith right now, right? And now faith is the substance of things hoped for. Now faith. Let's go ahead and first of all, put it on your calendar. So that way, if somebody try to put something on your calendar for October the 16th through the 19th, you can already tell them, I have plans. Okay? Go ahead and put that on your calendar. It's going to be a boot camp where we're going to have drill instructors. I mean, they're not like Sergeant Payne drill instructors. No, these are people who got the smoke of battle, who got fruit on the tree, that's going to be teaching you the nuts and the bolts. We're going to have the inspiration. All of that is going to be there. So October the 16th through the 19th, it starts on that Thursday afternoon with some estate planning. And then Friday, the events kicks off. Go to www.allianceevents.com. Go there to get all of the details under events. But I'm super excited. Let's talk about these tickets for a minute. Let's talk about these tickets. Now, these tickets, I know the price of Jordans. I know the price of Gucci and Louis. I know the price of Dolce & Gabbana, or however you pronounce it, right? But none of those things, you can dress up a mess. Let me repeat that again. You can dress up a mess. You can look good on the outside, but on the inside be depressed, dejected, and everybody on social media think you got it going on, but you go back home talking some, them fools gonna figure me out after a while if I can't keep it up. The value of these events, there's a junior trooper ticket. Now, I'm excited about junior troopers. These are people. Now, listen, if your kids don't know how to act, if your kids are the type of kids that the school is always calling to come get them, if your kids are the type of kids where your parents, their grandparents don't even want to keep them, don't bring them children, okay? I'm not being mean. These are just The views and opinions discussed by Terry Edwards are mine only. Do not hold them up to your upline, nobody else. These are mine. If you want to get mad at anybody, get mad at Terry. But don't bring them children. But T.D. Jakes said something that hit me a long time ago. He said, it's not what you leave to your children, it's what you leave in them that's more important. Bring your teenage kids to these events. We got a junior trooper ticket from ages 3 to 17 for $99. You would get your kids off of TikTok following imposters to being in a room full of achievers and winners that look like them, that they can feel and they can really touch. I'm making this thing a family affair. All right. Then, okay, if this is your first event or your second big event, you can get a ticket, Emerging Hero Pass, for $129. Y'all, that's all the events for the weekend and 3 meals. Come on now. Mm. And then if this is you're a veteran, you're paying $299, right? And then for the top brass, these are the elites. See, trust only motion. A lot of people want to talk about it, but if you top brass and you ain't got a top brass ticket, that means you ain't top brass. Period. Top brass, $14.99, baby. That includes 2 admission tickets, priority check-in, front row close to the front seating, 2 meal tickets in the VIP dining area, 2 swag bags, and a VIP parking that you ain't got to go down there and twist your ankles on the rocks. You know, some of y'all women be trying to be cute with them little heels on, coming out that gravel parking lot. That thing will get you, boy, switch that thing on over. But get your tickets, guys. It doesn't matter if you're top brass, emerging hero, or whatever. Just get your face in the place, okay? And then not only our national event, but we do an amazing job with local events. I saw pictures last night. Tampa, Florida was on fire last night. Andy Albright, Angela Riddle, I don't know, all the Brian Rojas and that whole crew, Team Takeover down there. I heard they done took over 100 people in the room, man. That is amazing. So get to these local events, man, to get around the heat. Get around the heat. Eric Belair down in Melbourne, Florida on tomorrow. He's opening his office for a boot camp from 9 to 12. All of those events are hotspots are on the Alliance events page. Bruce Barak and Steve Mamaritas going to be in Boston, Massachusetts doing a boot camp tomorrow. Adam Katz is going to be doing a training and a social in Wilmington on Monday. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Gina Hawks is going to be in Lawton, Oklahoma on August the 13th. Oh my goodness, Jake Joseph, new junior board member, and Brian Rojas going to be in Tampa again on the 13th. Man, it's going to be crazy. I'm going to be in Charlotte on the 14th. It's on like Donkey Kong, man. So listen, govern yourselves accordingly. We can ready to get into the content on today, and I'm fired up. Listen, y'all. Hey, AMP team, if you could bring my panelists up. I'm not going to go over their accolades because I done told y'all that you need to go back and re-listen to the call. But these are people who are not just talking. These are people that are out here doing it at a high level. So yes, on Wednesday, we were talking about the recipe. The Alliance is a big old pot roast, right? And we talked about the salt and the pepper in our team, right? And how we bring out the flavors in each other and what we're fighting for. It is crazy. It was a lot of mindset stuff, right? And the crazy part about it is this is what I'm beginning to find out to be true more and more. I read it in a book, but it's one thing to read it in a book, but it's another thing when you see it actually manifesting itself. There are a lot of people right now listening to this call that are struggling financially, period. And there's nothing wrong with struggling financially. We all have our own story, right? But, and people would say this, I don't need the rah-rah. Just show me how to save. But wealth begins in the mind and ends in the checkbook. Because this is the thing. if you get your mind right, you could get your pocketbook right. But if your pocketbook ain't right, that's a direct correlation to your mindset. So a lot of times we just want to focus on the do, but let me suggest you need to focus on the who and the do. Who am I? How am I changing? How am I presenting myself, right? What filters do my thoughts go through? Whose influence am I thinking? That's what we was trying to do on Wednesday, is to influence your thinking. And we did it from a place of talking about our internal convictions, right? So how do you know that people are struggling? I know it because this is a thing. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. These are the statistics. 43% of Americans right now, that's 4 out of 10, are having difficulty paying their bills. And the crazy part about it is a lot of times we start thinking about people like all of us are winning. Yeah, a lot of us are winning, but it's a lot of people on this call that ain't winning, that's listening. They're sitting in their car right now. They're in their living room. They're in their bedroom wondering how they're going to pay their bills. 52%, that's 1 out of every 2 adults in America, say that they worry daily about their finances. So the houses that we're going in, you mean to tell me you can't make a sale when half of the people are worried daily about their finances? But you're going to talk about the leads up. Did you get to their heart to find out what their worry is? Because 1 out of 2 say they are worrying. Now, those are just for the honest people. Most people aren't honest and transparent. It's probably really like 70%. But 52% say, yeah, that's me. 34% of Americans, y'all, say that they are losing sleep because of money. When I look at it, I'm internalizing this. That means 34% of the people on the dream team are losing sleep because of money. 34% of the alliance is losing sleep because of money. 52% say that they are living paycheck to paycheck. Listen, y'all, you have to know the numbers of not what people are telling you, but what's really going on. Because people, again, people carry Louis Vuitton purses, a $2,000 purse, and they ain't got $2,000 in the bank account. And if you get real close up on that Louis Vuitton purse, that handle will tell everything. Let me see the interior. Let me see the interior of that bag. It ain't even a real Louis. It's a ooey. But seriously, guys, this is what's going on. We have an opportunity. What we're going to share with you today, if you are one of the people that's having trouble paying their bills, if you are one of the people that's worried daily about your finances, if you're one of the people that's losing sleep because of your money situation, if you are one of the 52% that's living commission to commission check, or you pull up in the arc right now and you're in the negative, we're going to give you the final piece of the recipe to help you change that. Because the good thing about this is we're in an opportunity where you can change your situation. The question is this: will you use the salt that we talk about? Will you use the pepper? Today is the final ingredient. It's the elbow grease, baby. It's the elbow grease for me. Put up in the chat, it's the elbow grease, the elbow grease, the elbow grease. You see, some of y'all be like, Andy and Terry, y'all so country. I don't talk like elbow grease. Can you start copying? Elbow grease. Oh, you don't know what elbow grease is. Let's talk about it. What is elbow grease? Elbow grease is nothing more than a saying that means hard physical effort or manual labor. Hard physical effort. Oh, wait a minute. My upline told me this was going to be the easiest thing since sliced bread. Do you think somebody's just going to give you $10,000 a month in income and it ain't going to be hard? Huh? Like, do you realize that when a person makes $100,000 in corporate America, they trade in their life? They work 70, 80 hours a week. They're on call all the time. On vacation, they're tied to their laptops and their cell phones, right? It's not going to be easy. But what I can promise you is it will be worth it. So we're going to talk about elbow grease. We're going to talk about fighting our war on poverty today and how we're out here fighting. Okay? Now, let's talk about poverty for a moment. Because a lot of times when we start talking about poverty, people be like, well, I ain't in poverty. What is poverty? Poverty just ain't you ain't got money for food and housing and stuff like that. Poverty is a state of lacking sufficient resources to live a standard of life that is comfortable within a specified society. What society are you subscribing to? Because for me, I want something massive and big. So me making 200,000, while that's big to most people, it compares nothing to the dream and the mission that I'm on. Does that make sense? So yes, I feel that Terry Edwards, is on a war against poverty. Whose poverty? My poverty. Come on, somebody, internalize this thing. I'm going to fight this fight. I'm going to win this war against my poverty. So we got Oscar, we got Olga, and we got Mia, some of the biggest poverty fighting, freedom having people that we could think of this morning. And we're going to talk about, we're going to give you the elbow grease because we ain't afraid to work, baby. We ain't afraid to work. Effort is our new currency. Effort is our new currency. So listen, if you have not picked up a copy of this book right here, I highly recommend getting a copy of this book. This right here is the basics that all three of us have built our careers off of here at the Alliance, and not just us, but thousands of others. And we say this: if you consistently, repeat after me, consistently do these 8 steps to success, you will create the lifestyle that you want. Now, step 2 is work. I know that's a 4-letter word. Most people don't want to work. They want to stay in their house. They want to make what they want comfortably. Isn't it amazing how people want to work from home, but then sometimes they're not successful in making money, and then they go out and do DoorDash or drive Uber. You can't drive Uber at your house. You can't do it from your comforts of your home. You got to get in them streets, baby. So we're going to talk about work. So let my panelists introduce themselves. Just give a high-level recap of who you are, how long you've been connected, and what are you most excited about on today. Let's start with you, my man, Oscar.
Yeah, hello, team. My name is Oscar, and I work out of Miami, Florida. I've been with the Alliance for a year and a couple of months, and I'm most excited about growing and continue to become successful.
All right, good deal. And prior to the Alliance, the most that you have made in 1 year is 80,000, and doing one job, 80,000, right? And you're on track to make how much this year?
I'm on track to make 150,000.
150,000 on your own terms, your own schedule. I love it. All right, Mia Fennell.
Hey everyone, I'm happy to be back. Thank you for having me, Terry. Mia, been here for 7 years with the Alliance, and come from corporate America. Highest I earned doing one job when I was in corporate was 80,000. On track to make over 300,000 this year with the Alliance. And what I'm most excited about right now is we have several new people that are coming on board, working, getting moving. So definitely excited.
Good. So, and Mia, where are you located?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
My mama call it Charlotte. She put a P up in that thing. Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's go. All right. And the queen herself down in South Florida, my girl, Miss Olga Mathis. Unmute yourself, Olga.
Oh, thank you for reminding me that. Thank you, Terry and Tia. Love you guys. Thank you, Angela and Andy Riddle. So grateful for Andy and Jane Albright. My name is Olga Matos. I live in South Florida. I'm doing this for almost 13 years now. I cannot believe it's 13 years. And I used to be a luggage handler. And this year, I'm going to be over 600,000.
Woo! Showing them guns, Olga. Showing them guns. There they go. She was throwing them bags in the belly of the airplane. All right, guys. So listen. You got 600,000, on track to make 300,000, and on track to do right at 200,000. We get ready to lay out how we do what we do. So this is for the people now that say, I don't need all that rah-rah. Well, we about to give you the elbow grease. Let me see what you're going to do with it. Because I'm going to be looking. I'm looking. Here we go. Let's talk about it. And when we look at step 2 of the 8 steps to success, it's work. It's that 4-letter word that a lot of people don't want, like. But it says here, right here in the book, it says work requires putting forth effort, staying focused, and staying motivated to attain your goals. Otherwise, we will be content to stay where we are in life. All right? So it's crazy. Elbow grease. It's going to retire. Work requires effort, right? And the first step in establishing a work routine is to make a commitment. So let's talk about the commitment. Oscar, when you said yes to being your own boss and partnering with the Alliance, what commitments did you make?
I made the commitment to myself that I was going to be free financially. And I didn't have the mindset of something that you mentioned a lot, fighting and war. But the commitment was to break free. The commitment was to do more work than what I did in corporate America. And when I was making 80 grand, I was working from 60 to 80 hours a week. So the commitment was to stay highly motivated, to continue to progress, to stay mentally focused, and to not let myself down. I did not want to let myself down.
And it's crazy. You were saying to yourself, look, if I can work for somebody else 60 to 80 hours a week, I definitely can work 60 to 80 hours plus more for myself. Because I ain't going to be one of them ones that's going to give everybody else my best and then give myself my less.
Sir, that's
Come
right.
on now. All right, Mia, what type of commitment did you make?
I made the commitment that this was going to be my plan A and my only plan. So I decided that once I saw this opportunity and said yes to it and got licensed, I cut off any other chance that I could have to actually still work in corporate or get another job. So this was my plan A through Z. And I decided that these were the people I was going to work around. I was going to learn and grow here. And I didn't want to give myself any other option but to do that.
Love it. Love it. Olga.
Well, when I started this company, I knew that was nothing else. Wasn't not another choice. What a choice I have. Go and work in American Airlines again. And I was afraid every time that it was so hard for me to do it. And when I made 3,500 the whole year, I said, oh my God, what am I going to do? What else am I going to do? I mean, I don't have no more choice. I have to make it happen. I have to do what I have to do. I have to follow the leaders. I have to go to the conventions, even if I didn't want to go, because I don't have no choice. So my commitment was I have to grow. I have to learn. I have to go to no matter where I have to go. Even if Jason didn't want to come with me, I didn't care because the first year he didn't want to know nothing about. He said, I am a banker. Don't bother me about insurance. So I knew that if I didn't make that commitment to grow, learn, and change the legacy of my family, because that was my big thing, I said, what else am I going to do? Go and make $10 an hour? No. I don't have a school, but I always said, I'm not going to make $15 an hour, $10 an hour. So I made a commitment to go and do it and make it happen.
I love it. I love it. 10 years when I answered you and Jason's Craigslist ad, I had made a commitment, number one, before I even saw the ad, that I'm going to find me something that my financial future ain't tied to another corporate job that can just be snatched from me in an email. I made a commitment to my family to win. I told Tia Daddy that I was going to take care of her when I married her. I had to honor that commitment, right? Then I made a commitment to my uplines, Jason and Olga. I was like, Jason and Olga will not have to worry about Terry Edwards doing what he's supposed to do.
That's right.
We're looking for people that can do what they're supposed to do without being told. And I said, I want to make sure that when Jason and Olga draw their group out, I wanted Terry and Tia Edwards to be to the far left. I never wanted you guys to have to question my integrity or my character. And then the Alliance team. When Andy Albright got me on stage at Leadership, it was the first summer convention, and it was a night out. And Andy Albright got me on stage to start telling my story. I knew at that point that my voice had influence, and I needed to be very intentional about what I do in the dark, not just what I do in the light, so that I could be the same person that people see on stage at a hot spot, or much more. I never wanted my kids to see me one way in public and another way at the house. So those were my commitments. Okay. Now, out of those commitments come the work. Okay. So let's talk about this. Oscar has already paid over $200,000 this year. Last year, he was just getting started, couldn't close a door, and now he's in the top 15 on our platform. So Oscar, tell people, like, what is a day in the life of Oscar right now? Because I know what type of leads do you buy and what time do you get up in the morning? Kind of give people some idea of the elbow grease that you're putting in.
Yeah, so when it comes down to my schedule is I try to wake up early between 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. every day. That's something that it comes down with the discipline, but you want to wake up early and you want to do something for yourself. I'm a big believer on not necessarily balance. I'm not talking about balance, but doing something for yourself, such as going to the gym or reading a little bit of a book. After that, between 6 to 7 a.m., I'm going to take a look at my leads, which you start organizing your day the night before. So you're going to organize your leads, where you're going. So I have 4 leads in this zip code. On the next zip code right next to it, I'm going to have another 6 leads. And that it's only going to take you 15 to 30 minutes. But once we're done with that, the next day, after you do something for yourself, such as breakfast and working out, I like to do that. Then you take a look at that again and you know where you're going. And after that, if you have a family, in my case, I have my girlfriend, you have your wife, and you have kids, you say goodbye to them, you take them to school, and the whole fight is going to become mental. The whole fight just becomes mental. So, in many cases, such as myself, you don't have to be as skilled as Terry. You don't. So see, we all gonna have different skill sets. You don't gotta be a genius as Terry, but you do want to be a motivated seller. So the key of this conversation, part of it is gonna be being a motivated seller throughout the whole day, because it's a very hard thing to do. So my day is composed in waking up, doing something for you, being ready by 8 a.m. to hit the road. And once I'm hitting the road, I'm staying motivated, I'm staying positive, and I'm going door to door. That's what I enjoy doing. I kind of like it a little bit, but I can see how if it's 95 degrees, 98 degrees, that doesn't faze me. But I can see somebody else sweating in the car. You have to get out of the car. You go up to a door. And I mean, those easy lay down sales that they be like, you know what, I was thinking about it. That has never happened when I'm in a negative mindset. It's always when I'm going there and I'm believing in myself and I'm feeling good. That's when that happens. So sometimes that's what you're looking for a lot of times. And some other times you got to be motivated because they're gonna throw rocks at you at the door. They're gonna have objections, why they don't want to talk about it, and you have to make them realize that they fill out that lead and how they need to hear what you have to say to them. But it comes down to being a motivated seller throughout the whole day. You got to be prepared when you get to that door to talk to them. And they're human beings. They're from different places, different backgrounds, and you got to be ready. You got to be motivated. That is your duty.
So I'm hearing, this is what I'm hearing. Let me know if I'm right. You plan your work and then you work your plan.
Yes, sir.
All right. So one of the best tools, weapons that you can have in this business is an activity book. An activity book. Because what gets tracked gets done. And when you open it up, we like to say this is a whosoever doeth business. Whosoever doeth the work maketh the money. If your activity book looks like this, you making money. If your activity book look like this right here, or half filled out, you ain't making no money. So you have to plan your work and work your plan. Is that what I'm hearing, Oscar?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
All right. All right. Now let's talk about it, because you issue pay consistently over $20,000 a month, and you do door knocking, right? That's what you like to do. Now, what type of leads do you buy? And I don't even like to say buy. What type of leads do you invest in, right? What type of leads do you invest in, and how much do you invest?
So I invest $500 a week. I'm more comfortable with Bang Bang, and
Bang, bang.
$500 will give you 100 leads a week, and that should be a lot of work for that's going to be a lot of work. But I feel most comfortable with Bang Bang leads. That's how I feel most comfortable with. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Are you concerned about the intent of the lead? Do they have to be high intent lead? I only do direct mail leads. What is your mindset on leads?
Okay, so my mindset with leads is interesting, because the lead doesn't matter. People can disagree with me. There are smarter people that disagree with me, so I totally understand. But
Hey, are they making more money than you?
Not necessarily. but I would tell you that as you are looking at other leads, you are looking for less work. I know we want to have a system in place that it will make it easier. I haven't seen a better system than the Alliance system. So in the effort to do less work, we look for different types of leads that we're going to get to the door, and it's going to be easier. And I'm here to tell you that I had people that got IULs with Bang Bang, and as soon as I knock on the door, they were, you know what, I was thinking about it. It's true. I filled that out. So you guys are finally here. Let's sit down and talk. It has been that simple, and it happened. And then you got others that, actually, I would say that 80% of the people, guys that fill out Bang Bang, they knew they did it. They knew they were contemplating the idea. They just don't feel like talking about it right now. Maybe you have to set up an appointment, or maybe I don't want to talk to you right now. So you have to find a way to, while you're at the door, be able to be motivated to overcome all of those. You know, you can't take place off. I don't always do it successfully. Sometimes they just kick me out of there. I want to talk to you right now. But I have bought from other lead vendors, and they send me the exact same lead as Bang Bang. And they send me a lead that doesn't have a number or an address. So I believe that the lead vendor doesn't matter. It's up to you. It's going to be to your mental strength, because once you don't take, it's like a step numbers. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but a step number 7, being held accountable. So once you are held accountable and you understand that you are the only one responsible for the outcome of your performance, then you can take charge and say, okay, I'm messing up. I got to clean it up. I'm not going up there confident. I'm not being enthusiastic. But if you blame it on the lead, I couldn't do that.
I love that, man. You saying you take 100% ownership of your outcomes. I love that. Now, Oscar, as you're driving, you knocking on doors. Let's say somebody slammed the door, and they cuss you out, and they say, I'm going to shoot you if you come back. What do you do to stay motivated throughout your day? As you're getting crap thrown on you and negativity and all that, how do you stay motivated?
I do many things. I like to listen to a podcast. I will listen to a Terry Edward video on YouTube. That will help. It's motivation. So you need a little bit of motivation. Does work. So if you're motivated when you're getting there, music, I'll say motivation. But at the end of the day, I'm religious and I believe in God. And you don't want the devil talking on your ear and let him win, because it will knock you down when they say, hey, get out of here. And they are professional buyers. I mean, I'm talking about the prospect is a professional buyer. They know exactly what to say. They even try to talk you out of your job. Oh, you're doing that type of job? Wow. Because they work 40 years as a teacher. Nothing against a teacher. Or they work 30 years making 45 grand, and you see that they're not very pleased with their life. So they will try and talk you out of what you are doing, which is changing life and helping families. They'll try and do that, and they're very good at it. They can tell you painful things. You got to be mentally resilient. You got to listen to music. You got to talk to. Sometimes I die on my favorite people. I don't like to rely on anybody, but I do have people on my corner. I don't recommend that, but you have to be music, a podcast, a motivational video on YouTube, anything that's going to keep you going.
I love it. I love it. So you said they are professional buyers. So we might be amateur dialers, but the people on the other end are professional buyers. Boy, I about lost it in here, because their job is to convince us that they didn't do it. And some of us are so easy, yeah, they say they didn't do it. Like, you ain't believe me when I told you it worked. Why are you going to believe them when they say that they didn't do it? Who you want, what you want to believe? I want to, let me stop. Mia Fennell, Miss Mia, y'all heard a story on Wednesday. First month, $2,600. Second month, $3,000, $7,000. Consistently six figures. Getting ready to go into the triples. Never, always winning trips. Mia, let's talk about not your isness, not what you are right now. When you first got started, what type of leads were you buying? What did your schedule look like? What did you do? Talk to the people.
Okay. Oscar, you did a great job. Good job. I love your story. So when I first got started, like I told y'all the other day, we was always told 20 appointments a week, 20 recruits a week. So there was no way to get around that other than investing into the business. And I wasn't afraid to invest. When I hit that $7,000 a month, we used to do these things called a power move, where you could buy $1,000 worth of leads in an area and you could go to that area and just work. And I did multiple power moves even within my first year. But what it pretty much looked like for me every week was, how do I get to having 20 appointments a week? So usually that was investing between $400 to I got all the way up to $1,000 a week in leads, and I was really proud of that. I've always been very proud to invest into my business every single week. So between $400 to $1,000 a week in leads. And Terry would always say you need to get to 1,000 clients a week, or 1,000 clients. And that was always the goal, is how fast can I run it up to 1,000 clients? So every single week it was booking appointments on Monday, running appointments Tuesday, Wednesday, booking appointments again on Thursdays, running appointments for Friday, Saturday. And if the goal was to get the majority, get 10 appointments each of those days. So if you had 30 appointments in a week, phenomenal. And most likely you were hitting those numbers between $20,000 to $30,000 a month. So that's pretty much what it was for me. And it wasn't easy. It was very, very, very hard. Taxing. I mean, to try to get that many clients a week as a brand new person, never doing this before, getting out in the field every single week and working. I was doing a lot, just like Oscar, listening. You had to listen to the right things. You had to be on the calls, read the books, go to the events, because I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that the people that were top leaders in this business, they said, you need to get to 20 appointments a week, 20 interviews a week. And that's what I did. So it was more so, Terry, I think, even when there were times, because I've been in the field, I've seen everything. I've seen the A guy threatened to pull a gun out on me before because I did a door knock at his house. I've actually seen a shootout while I was in the field happen right in front of me. I've seen the roaches. I've been in the house. It's like, but I think all of that builds character. All of that builds you into the person that you need to be in order to be very successful in this business. Some of those things would have taken the average person out, and the average person would have quit. They would have said, I don't need to do all this. I don't need to keep making all these phone calls. It took me a year to get decent on the phone. I ain't even saying good. I said decent. It took about a year, but every single week I called every single week, booked appointments, and was out in the field every single week.
So let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about leads, right? It's a return on investment, a return on investment. The return is going to be, the size of your return is going to be predicated upon the size of your investment. So we know this. Whatever you invest in leads, you should be making 5 times that. We don't make money off of selling leads. No, we make money when you help a family. We make money when you make money, right? So a big problem is this right here, where you were investing every single week and you got up to $500 or $700, $1,000 a week. Because you wasn't good on the phone, you had to invest more in leads to help with your skill set. Most people want maximum results with minimum effort, minimum input.
Yeah.
You can't do a minimum bang bang order and expect Oscar results. You can't do a minimum bang bang order or lead order and expect Mia results. You have to inspect what you expect. Andy Albright said it this way: you can't poop like an elephant, but eat like an ant. It's just common sense. So if you make the investment, you will get the return. Also, another thing that Mia said, she would book 10 appointments in one day. We say it this way: you shouldn't leave the house without at least 5 appointments booked that day. Well, some people be like, well, Terry, what if I don't have 5 appointments? Well, who told you to stop dialing without 5? Why did you stop dialing? Well, why do we say you need to have 5 appointments? Because we ain't perfect. If you got 5 booked, you might sit with 3 and close 1 or 2. But if you're doing onesies and twosies, that ain't going to work. So what got Mia good was she compressed her activities in shorter amounts of time. Andy Albright said it's this way: we make the same amount of money, he just do it in a shorter amount of time. So the question is, how can you put more activity in? So that's good right there. And if you're a part-time, right, you may not can do 20 appointments a week, but can you do 5 consistent and do those 5 in one day? Right? So then you might be on the 5-5 plan, 5 appointments a week, 5 interviews a week, right? Okay, Olga Mathis, talk to the people. See, everybody think, Olga, you and Jason, y'all don't really have to work. Y'all got this big old massive team. Life is just great. How did you get as good as you are today? See, people see you today, but they don't know. They should have heard the TWC about you driving back and forth, going down there. But talk about, what was your activity like at the beginning when you was trying to get good?
Well, I wasn't like Mia and Oscar. I admire you guys, really amazing, because when I started with the Alliance, I went to Chris Long's office to see people making dials, but I didn't want to make dials. And they give me a bunch of old leads and to dial, but every time that I dial, I hang up because I was super afraid to talk to people. And I didn't invest in leads either. So I said, you know what? I had a great idea. I'm going to go home. I'm going to make dials from there. And I'm going to convince my husband that speaks perfect English to make dials for me. That didn't happen. And when I was home trying to make dials, that is important to get together with people doing the activity, like making dials, like the rally point, because you get distracted when you are in your house. I didn't want to make dials. So I was looking to clean dishes, to do the laundry, try to make dials. I didn't make dials. And that is what happened that year. I didn't invest in leads, whatever they give me. And then when I said, okay, it's time to get serious because I really want to do this. I really want to make it happen. So it's when I start to drive to Miami and I start to dial. But when you knew, and you cannot compare yourself, like at that time, Lisa Lyon, 13 years ago, she was making dials and making 20 appointments so quick. It's like everybody was saying yes to her, and you compare, and me, I couldn't make not even an appointment, and I get down and I say, oh my God. But you cannot compare to, I am brand new. This lady has like 7 years. She has more experience. And I start to go to Miami, and I said, okay, I'm going to make dials. I'm not going to leave until I make at least 10 appointments. And I went there from 8 in the morning to 9 p.m. I make like 700-800 dials. And it's funny when people now, they are new and they say, oh, I just make 20 dials. How many appointments? None. Just excuse me. That's why this book, I have the old one, 13 years ago in my book. And here said, diagnose yourself. Step 2, diagnose yourself. Activity book, what Terry is talking. Set up. You have to make sure that everything is there. How many dials, how many appointments, how many contacts, how many people you talk, and then talk to your upline and say, hey, what is going on that I didn't do that, but when I started. But then when I start to connect and really start to do the activity book, all the things that Alliance, my upline was telling me to do, is when things start to change. And I made 700,000-900,000 dials to finally make 10 appointments. So a lot of people quit so fast. Don't quit, because this is the only thing. It's nothing like the Alliance. And you keep doing it and doing it and doing it, it's going to happen. So after a year is when I start to invest.
I love it. Diagnose yourself, right? Track your numbers. And it's like, and in the book, it talk about, if you make a few phone calls, if you're the type of person, I ain't talking about you, I'm talking about somebody else on your team, that's making few calls, that means you got poor work habits or small dreams. If you have a good number of phone calls and few appointments, you have poor phone skills or lack of urgency. So if you know you're making a lot of calls and you ain't getting a lot of appointments, don't blame the leads. They say right here, it's your phone skill. Get with your growing up line and say, hey man, hey sis, I suck on the phone.
Right.
It's easy to blame the lead, but this don't say diagnose. That don't say diagnose the leads, diagnose your upline, diagnose the alliance. It says diagnose what? Yourself.
Yeah.
You can lie to a lot of people, but the worst person that you can lie to is yourself. All right. If you got a good number of phone calls and few sales, that means I need to work on my in-home closing or lack of urgency. Oscar just talked about it. Like, these are professional buyers, right? How can we create urgency? And last but not least, if you got high phone calls, over 800 dials a week, and high appointments, 20 to 30 appointments a week, and you doing good in the house, you got high sales, baby, you got money in the bank. Shorty, what you think, and your dreams can come true. It's like, wow. So when you look at your activity book, right? I used to do this over. I don't know if you did this, but like in this example here, it shows like the total commissions for the week was 10,000, but this person made $400. I used to be like, here, okay, if I made $10,000, I got somebody in my downline calling me right now doing the daggone activity call. They ain't even on the call. What in the world? Divided by 400, that's $25 per dial. It don't matter what the person said, Oscar. It don't matter if they hung up. Every time I hit the green button, I made $25.
That's right.
All right.
Terry, I remember one agent that I said, if you are with the Alliance for 1 year and you're not making money, something is going on. And then this lady came to me and said, Olga, I am a year and I'm not making the money. I said, let me see your activity book. So when I see the activity book, was really nothing there, was like 20 dials, like 15 contacts, 0 appointments. So I said, okay, let me hear you a script. And that is the thing that a lot of people don't call for help because, oh no, you're too busy. Oh no, I'm gonna call Terry because it's too busy. No, you have to bother. You have to bother us. If we don't answer in that moment, we're gonna call you later and we're gonna help you with your script and get better results.
I love it. How many dials per hour? You should be shooting for 40 dials per hour. 40 dials per hour.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Now, the other thing that says here in the book, it says you must decide what things you can do to become profitable. So what are those things that you guys are doing to help you become more profitable? Oscar?
Okay, so things that we are doing, definitely attending all the events. I'll say that's number one, because I always focus on just mental strength. That's the main thing. And going to all the events helps you stay motivated. Also, activity. Just like you showed your activity book, just keeping a high level of activity, keeping busy. In my case, it will be working throughout the weekend if necessary. I don't see it as a problem now. Perhaps in the future will be, but if you got to work over the weekend, that shouldn't be a problem. If you have to work Saturday, Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and I don't want to come across as telling people what to do. And I know that Olga mentioned to not quit so easily, but I don't know everybody's background here. But the reality is that despite the fact that Terry might be very smart, and the way that he sounds and the way that he speaks, very eloquent, and Olga, she's tough as nails. But at the end of the day, everybody that's been successful, they're all tough. They're all very mentally strong. So I emphasize that what I'm doing is going to the events and the activity, because the more I work, the more mentally strong I'll become just through the work, by doing that work. So that's what I focus on.
I love it. Mia, what say ye?
Yep, I would say some of the same things as Oscar, to keeping a full calendar. I mean, that's very important. It's the always having things going on that's business related. You can pull up a person's calendar and pretty much tell what it is that they're focused on. And I remember hearing leaders say when I first got started, you can do an audit of your time, go through and do an audit of your time, see how you're spending your time. So I try to make sure that my calendar stays full, going to the events, going on the trips. A lot of people think, oh, I love to have fun and I love to go on trips, but those are the times that you get to spend and have those intimate conversations with people in this business who are extremely successful, where you want to be. So you might not always be able to sit with them at the conferences because there's so many people trying to talk to our leaders. But when you're on those trips, you see they're normal people just like you, but they have more influence. They have more knowledge. They know how to grind and they know how to do this business. And those are the times where you get to have those conversations. So being around influential people that can get your mindset right, people that can influence how you think, how you move throughout your business and your life is very, very important.
I love it. I love it. Olga.
Well, it's super important to have an assistant, because if you want to do everything by yourself, it's not going to be good. Because being an assistant is important. I don't want to put it down because it's super important, but it's not. We can do more things to be better, like what is urgent and what is not urgent. Okay, like the quadrant 1, what is important. Like the most important thing to know is that you have to follow your schedule. And if you follow your schedule and you know that you have to make dials, is to make dials. Okay, not important that if your cousin call you at the moment, like what you just did, that agent call you, you put the red. You're not going to answer because that is not important. You can do it later. Okay, so super important to have the assistant and follow the schedule and make sure that you don't get distracted.
Investing in staff, that's good. Now,
Yeah.
I would like to say this. There are 4 basics too, right? We're going to fill out a green sheet in every house. We want to call for help, call our product specialist. We're going to get referrals. Referrals are very important to your profitability. What do I mean by that? Once you get a client and you serve them properly, if you ask them for referrals, they will give them to you. We got our ERS. But if you do a good job, they're going to refer you. If you don't get no referrals, could it be your transacting people? Are you having more chargebacks than referrals? That's a sign that you are not serving. So referrals are very, very important. And then last but not least, recruit across the table. Listen, Oscar, you talk about being financially free. One of the biggest things that you can do now, you are a professional seller. Now, how many more people can you get to be successful like you? Recruiting the value of one person. See, people will celebrate you, Oscar, for going out buying a rental property. But you got to put 20% down. You got to have good credit, and you might cash flow $200 to $300, right? But what is the value of one agent, right? If you could get one agent to issue $10,000 a month, and you got a 10% override, that's $1,000 a month. That's 3 rental houses. That's 3 rental properties, and you ain't had to have good credit. You ain't got $500,000, $600,000 tied up in loans. Profitability. We can only do so much by ourselves. Together, everybody achieves more. So recruiting, the 3-foot rule, while we are out running business, it amazes me. If you're a top producer, you should automatically be a top recruiter, because one of the 4 basics in every transaction is recruit across the table. Oh, how am I a top producer and not a top recruiter? Because I just get the check and leave. I made my little sale. But listen, you are not one sale away from becoming a millionaire. You are one handshake away. You are one relationship away. Look at that one relationship with Adam Katz and his organization that partnered with the whole Adaki and Tendong and Bridget Eminem, like one relationship away. If I was Adam Katz, I would be in Baltimore doing the, y'all see Adam Katz? Adam Katz been dancing with him and everything. I would be doing the same exact thing. You are one relationship away. Listen, y'all, we got to fight for our property. We gave y'all some of the elbow grease on today. I got to get ready to end this. We're out of time, but we definitely ain't out of elbow grease. We about to get off here and go put into action what we was talking about. But listen, y'all, we're in a war against poverty, y'all. Nelson Mandela says this right here. As long as poverty, injustice, and gross inequality exist in our world, and it does, none of us, not now one of us, can truly rest. Get your eyes off of yourself. If you can pay your bills, good for you. Can you consider other people and help other people? Or you just like everybody else, my 4 and no more? There's another quote that goes like this. When we encounter suffering, we can either lean in or look away. When love wins the day, looking away is never an option, because love always leans in. If you love your God, if you love your family, if you love the alliance, if you quote unquote love your upline, you owe it to them to show it to them and grow. Love is not like Instagram where you just click a button and a heart appear. No, love encounters suffering, right? It stays when it don't want to stay. It loves when it really wants to hate. It serves when you want to say, I'm throwing in the daggone towel. Lean in, family. Lean in. We're on an all-out blitz against poverty. I don't care if you are Hispanic, Black, Nigerian, Asian, Indonesian, Polynesian. It don't matter, baby. It don't say that 50% of Black folks are concerned about their bills. No, it says 50% of Americans. We are in this thing together, baby. When one of us suffer, all of us suffer. But when one of us rejoice, we all rejoice. Listen, y'all, let's stop talking about it. Let's be about it. I double dog dare you. Put 5 in with and help that 5 get 5. Oscar, your legacy now is no longer about how much you can sell, but how many people. Because what would it look like if you had 10 Oscars? Mia, we don't know what we're going to have. How many people can you get where you are? Olga and Jason, they are wilder than a fat baby's bottom. They're going deeper than the Nile River, baby. This is what it's about from this point on. Serving has everything to do about putting your own selfish desires aside to bring it under subjection to our conviction. Our conviction here at the Alliance is we have fun, we make money, we make a difference. Our conviction is we sell, we recruit, we build. Our conviction is prosperity, inspiration, and eternity. And guess what, guys? Eternity is a lot longer than our time here on earth. Do something today that will never be forgotten. Become somebody who will never be forgotten. Do the unthinkable. With this team, anything is possible. My name is Terry Edwards. I approve this message, and I will see you at a local hotspot. But if not, I definitely will see you at National Boot Camp and on the beaches of Thailand. Get out of here and let's go take over America, baby. It is our time. Let's go.